Welcome everyone to the first career development for 2021. It still seems kind of weird to say that, but here we are. So today we're going to be kicking off our series that is designed to help us focus our attention on listings and really marketing ourselves to our desired customers and clients. So you guys have heard me preach about value propositions and individual point of differences and all that good stuff. If you've listened to my podcast or seen my videos, you know I preach about this all the time. Not necessarily what we're talking about today. Today is not a value proposition conversation. This is about what sets you apart in a marketing niche. So value proposition is more about the service you provide. We want to focus more on the types of customers that you're targeting based on what sort of interests you have and skill sets that you possess. So as Sheila said at the beginning, a lot of us have different backgrounds. So Michael and I have a very strong foreclosure background. I sold REOs for 8 years. I was a top producing agent. He was on the asset management side of that business, so we know a lot about that. Of course, Steve still does a lot of REO. Sheila does a lot of land, or did a lot of land, I should say. She still knows a lot about it. So we all have different skill sets, and that will help drive your business. But really, it also comes down to your personal lifestyle, the types of things you enjoy. So it goes back to the basic: people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And that begins with having things in common. I use this example all the time of an agent that I worked with in the Nashville area. She was outside of Nashville. She loved horses. That was her absolute passion in life, was horses. So she centered all of her marketing around horses. And that grew into her becoming an equestrian property specialist. So she was able to carve out that niche by attracting people who had common interests. Like, you like horses, I like horses, we have so much in common. It goes a little bit beyond just like, you breathe, I breathe. People want to know that you're like them, which, on a side note, is also why I always preach about keeping politics and religion out of your social media marketing as your business, because that's a great way to go, you're not like me, I don't want to work with you. So just flipping that coin really quickly to keep reiterating that point that I make all the time. So think about, what is it that I like? What do I enjoy? Is it cooking? Do I like to travel? Do I like to go on hikes? Am I a fitness person? Am I, do I like wine? Whatever I can think of that will draw people in, and then you can start tailoring your marketing to that. So it's little things like social media. Like, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll notice that I'll post, Grumpy Cat stuff. I think Grumpy Cat's hilarious, even though, rest in peace, poor kitty. But humor is a uniter. I like food. When I traveled a lot for corporate, all my Instagram was food. It was all the wonderful meals that I would eat, and people enjoy that. So if you like cooking at home, post stuff about cooking, post recipes, anything like that. So your marketing doesn't have to be all about real estate. You need to start with what's going to draw people in, and then you expand out and you start tying it back to real estate. I mean, what matches, cooking, home real estate? I mean, it's not a far leap. So even like fitness, for instance, fitness equals like happiness, not for me, but for some people, like happiness and feeling good and life goals and all that can tie into real estate. So that's just the beginning of this conversation, is start thinking about that passion. You guys have heard me talk about passion a lot. Think about what passion is driving you. You can turn that passion into a lead magnet. People are going to gravitate towards you because you share that similar passion. And then you can take that and look at things like global luxury, for instance. So I go back to the equestrian example. equestrian properties and global luxury kind of go hand in hand. So if you're really into horses and or farms or whatever, you can tie that into global luxury fairly easily. Sheila's going to talk about the accredited land consultant designation. So there's education and designations out there that you can focus on that will help funnel your passion into a usable skill that will further help your customers and clients see your value. So, for instance, I like designation wise, I'm a big designation person. I had ABR, CRS, GRI, SFR, all that good stuff. But I never really tied it to a passion thing. Now, SFR was the short sale foreclosure resource. Believe it or not, I was very passionate about foreclosures. I still think it's a really fun industry. But alas, I'm not doing that anymore. But think about ways that you can take what you love and tie it into a usable skill. So go on the NAR site sometime and just see the ridiculous amount of designations and certificates that are available, and you'll maybe be inspired by that. But Sheila, do you want to talk about anything real quick before I jump into more stuff?
I would just very quickly, as an accredited land consultant, the reason that I knew that we had to have a niche of some type, mine happened to be, I raised registered Angus, I raised quarter horses, I groomed dogs since 1980, showed dogs, trained horses, and I understood farms. So it was just, and growing things. So it was just natural progression for me to go toward the accredited land consultant designation. Sometimes I do want to say, don't feel like you have to have been in that to go toward it. But what I will say is, if you want to do horse properties, make sure that you take the time, or cattle or whatever. Because if you come to me and I understand cattle, I know about artificial insemination, about embryo transplants, about EPAs and EPDs and stuff. I understand that language. So if you go to someone as a specialist and you don't understand their language and how they talk, if you don't know the parts of a saddle, you don't understand certain things about horses, if you don't even understand a horse, understand that. Make yourself, educate yourself, go to somewhere and talk with people. But if you want to get into and learn a niche, if it's not what you already understand, don't feel you can't. It was easy for me, but just educate yourself. So that's why the designations are very important to tie with your knowledge, but also a good instance, and I will hush at this, is I know about poultry houses, egg brooder houses. I know about all of them. I know how many flocks you can get in a year and all of that. I understand all that, but I want to understand it more. And agents thought I was silly for doing this. I literally called farms and I said, "Are you crusting your houses today? Can I come watch? Can I help?" I went and I actually gathered eggs at egg farms. So I understood the process. I even helped fix some of the equipment. So when it broke down, so what did that do for me? I got to sell a lot of poultry farms, because when I went through and I'm talking to these people that is going to be their business, I say, "Oh, did you see that gear? It wasn't quite working quite right. They need to do this."
Sheila froze. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Sorry, Sheila. Come back to us when you can. Okay, she's back now. She's unfrozen. So yeah, I agree. So just because you like something doesn't necessarily mean you're an expert at it. So you definitely want to make sure that you put in the time to build the skills, not just, "Oh, I think this is so interesting," and then you just look like an idiot because you don't know what you're talking about. So I 100% agree with that. So So get into some fun stuff. I know with the the COVID stuff, it's been more difficult to network in person. So we haven't really had things like events and festivals and booths and all that stuff. But those are great ways to help break into those niches that you're looking for. So if there's like the county fairs or whatever, if you're focusing on that more rural marketing, those are great places to meet the types of people that are going to want your services. You have to think about where your customers go for information, for services, things of that nature, and you have to be where they are. Don't expect them to come find you. You need to go where they are so they can see you. But social media has opened up a whole world. There's community groups, there's neighborhood groups. I have agents that dominate neighborhoods because they're so active on social media. In like they'll actually go out and form a group, and say, hey, I'm going to post stuff about the neighborhood and garage sale stuff or HOA stuff, whatever it is. I know Stacy did a lot of new construction, so she's in these giant developments. I'm sure she's encountered people who have formed those groups together. Be a part of those things, like join your HOAs and be involved in the boards, things like that, because it's a great way to be visible, and people will consider you the expert for that market. So like, oh well, Sarah knows all about this neighborhood. I'm gonna if I have a real estate question, I'm gonna go to her because she's the one that's always putting stuff on there about real estate. And speaking of like markets and things of that nature, the new marketing that we've got coming, so we've got the listing videos and then we have market videos, but then Prospect Square will create quarterly, monthly, and then on-demand market and area reports that you can generate and farm to your sphere. So if you've got a kind of an area that you focus on, you can start blasting people, hey, interested in knowing, the recently sold. I know Nicole and I have talked about this in the past, where people find huge value in knowing how much their neighbor's house sold for. They're just curious. I mean, but it also it's curiosity, but it's also, I want to know what my asset's doing. I want to know how my house is faring in the market. So if I know my house, oh geez, I've got an extra bedroom and I've got that new patio and their house sold for 350, so I must be up above 350. People want to know that kind of stuff. You can be the gatekeeper to that information. So I know it's a little sidestep from niche, but not really. I mean, being a market expert can be your own. You don't have to be the cooking person or the wine person. You can be oh man, June always knows what's going on. She's always the first one to tell us what houses sold for, what the market's doing. I always know that, every month on the 15th, I'm going to see the market report come out, and I'll know what my neighbors' houses are selling for. So it takes a commitment to be that. You can't just do it one time and go, well, they'll remember me now, and hopefully they'll use me someday. But that's the beauty of a program like Prospect Square, that you'll find out is it's set it and forget it. You can plug it in and just let it run, and there we go. So, just be thinking outside of the box for those things. Does anybody have a niche that they have formed or are looking to get into, or that they want to share? I'd love to hear some feedback.
I know some of the agents that I've worked with.
Go a little closer to the microphone, June.
Oh, I'm sorry. They'll sponsor little league teams, or they'll become soccer moms, soccer dads. And they picked up tremendous business. So you have to think about the athletics. Somebody like Marcia has got to have a full list of a lot of retired people that left the city and came to live here. So she has a lot of source to go back to on them. I think veterans, if you want to work with military families, there's always volunteering on that. So what you're trying to do is spread your wings out, reach out and see what's out there for you to grab on. Because people, if they get a trust in you, then they're going to refer you. Maybe they can't buy a house, but they're definitely going to refer you to family members or to people that they know. So I think it's just going out there and saying, I'm going to find something that I can do. Childcare, another thing with Marcia, anybody's got grandkids, piggyback on them, make the little buggers get you some money. And that's by sports and stuff like that. Or reading, reading to their classes. There's just so many things. Just kind of sit down and think in your mind, what can I do by using this to increase my business?
Yeah, I'm, just a technical. I'm shameless. Of course, I don't have kids. I won't have children, thankfully. But use those kids, man. Like, put them to work. Like,
Serious.
my mommy sells real estate. Here's a card. Whatever it takes.
Get that girl out.
Get
Make
those
her earn a
freeloaders
fee.
off the couch and out making business. So, Nicole, what were you gonna say?
First, happy birthday, June.
Yes, happy birthday, June.
Thank you.
You and I've talked about this, and I'm excited to share that I haven't found a niche around here in terms of like the way that I'm able to best connect. And I'm an avid reader. For those of you who may or may not know me, I read like 3 to 5 books a month, and I love Handley. And I've reached out to them, and I'm going to be working with them on a donation piece where I can maximize my marketing and my contributions to the local library system, whether it's like buying books for them or that kind of thing. And I didn't find something that fit me, so I made it. And I thought that was pretty cool to share. So you don't have to rely on what's out there. You can get creative and create programs that befit who you are,
And Nicole, you could even set up small little things on the seniors and people in the community, not necessarily seniors, learning a little bit more about social media, because most people don't know.
Yeah.
So I think you could extend it beyond that, and working the book sale. Handley has 2 or 3 great book sales that are great.
Yeah, I've spoken with their PR team. We're going to get volunteering when, of course, it's better and safe for all of us. And my daughter goes to the library. The first thing we did when we moved here was get library cards. We made it a family affair, and it just seemed to be a really natural fit. So I contacted them, and they were open, and they're a government institution. So it's got to be handled properly. But I've spoken with Steve, and we're working through all of that so I can market and keep everybody protected. But like I said, if it doesn't exist, make it.
Good.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you're communicating to your sphere. So, if you're doing it, let's say you're doing it, magic wand, COVID goes away by the summer and we can start doing events and stuff, if you're going to be at the fair or at a home show or something, send out a message, maybe have a special exclusive. I'm having an exclusive drawing for anyone from my sphere of influence that wants to come by and see me at my booth or whatever. Bring them out and get them engaged, or tell them to tell people, like, if they drop your name, then I'll put them in the drawing too. I'm just, throwing out ideas, but you want to make sure that you're telling people what your niche. I mean, you don't just say, well, I assume they all know what I'm doing. They really don't. Because I have news for everyone. I'm sorry to say this. Most people don't really care, and they don't think about you all the time. So just so you know, I think the average person will forget what you do every 17 days. They don't care that you're in real estate until it matters to them, which is like once every 5 to 7 years. So you have to keep reminding them that, like, I'm more than just, I'm here to help more than just you. I'm here to help everyone you know. So just because they're not selling a house today doesn't mean they can't give you a referral. They know people. And if they like you and trust you, then they're going to tell their friends to like you and trust you. So just, keep in mind that you've got to keep engaging your sphere inside that niche as well. So, and I would say that probably the key to any of this is adding value. So yeah, it's fun to, I post, food stuff. Okay, but that doesn't really add too much value to me. What can add value? Like, what can I do? Now I've got the people following me that love my recipes. What am I going to offer them next that's really going to, set apart? Maybe I do a digital, we've got a guest. Sarah's got a co-pilot. So, maybe I put together a digital cookbook or something and I brand it to myself and I send it out to everybody. Who knows? I mean, there's so much you can do. The power of Adobe PDF is amazing. You can do just about everything with a PDF these days. I literally can just sit here and gush ideas, but that's not the idea of this thing. Is to just kind of get you guys to break that mindset of, or Canva. Yes, Nicole, amen. I love Canva. Canva is actually cheaper than Adobe, so it's a better solution. So just kind of, I want to challenge you guys, and we're doing this the first one of this series is to think about your niche, because we're going to be developing this idea throughout this series. Is, take the niche and then learn how to implement marketing solutions that we have to engage the niche, and then asking for that business from people. So start thinking outside the box. What just really ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What value can I bring that matches the passion that I have, and where do my skills and my passion intersect? So Sheila, tell us a little bit about some of the stuff. We've done these things as a company, and it really does we get a lot of mileage out of our community involvement. I mean, I cannot stress enough. I mean, Michael helped lead the charge in the Panhandle to get the food drive thing, and it was a awesome success. I mean, just really great. It did good things, and that's it's not just, I'm not saying do it selfishly because you want business, but you can't forget to ask for the business, and you can't forget to pat yourself on the back. If you donate to a cause and don't tell anybody about it, you're just doing a good deed. It's not helping your business. So it's okay to, you don't have to brag, but you want to make sure people know what you're passionate about. So Sheila, tell us a little bit about some of the company-led initiatives.
Okay. The one thing I'm listening to everything you said. The one thing that I want all the agents to know too, being a part of anything you do is great for people to see you, to get your face out there. But don't forget that you want to try to do something to actually capture information, also capture the people that you can respond back to. So if you're at an event and you're going to a booth, don't just go to the booth, think about it. What are you going to give of value? What that you can give as a takeaway, but what can you have there that's going to get people to sign up and give you their information that you can touch base with them later? That's a great way to build your sphere, not just showing your face. So I just wanted to add that on to, just don't forget, don't just show up, but why are you showing up?
And
what are
in
you
the internet
give
world,
as a takeaway? And
in the internet world, that's called a lead magnet. So think of it that way. Like I'm giving you're trading your information for something of value or something that you want, whether it's a prize, whether it's information packet, whatever. You're essentially trading your information for that. So it's a lead. I have to have something to draw you in. So that's why they call it a lead magnet. So just kind of keep that term in your head.
I like that. So the first thing there's three things that I want to share as far as company-wide that we can do that will help everybody. The first thing is our CB Homes for Dogs. I'm not sure how many people understand what it is, but in 2015, Coldwell Banker actually partnered with Adopt a Pet. And what the goal was to get at least 20,000 pet dogs homes. But so
don't sign it yet.
So because of COVID, we did not have it last year. But the year before, not counting those.
You can just put today so they don't think it's weird or anything.
I'm sorry, Michael was talking. So let me get my mind back on track. So anyway, for the dogs, what they did is that would have been 2018, they actually acquired within 3 years 35,000 pets that they put in homes. That's not counting 2019. Our company done an amazing job. Michael on the West Virginia side and all the agents there, our Winchester and our Front Royal offices rocked it. Winchester had the most business they ever had on a Sunday. And our agents were, because of that, they did their pre-marketing and people came in, lots of pets. So This coming year, hopefully COVID is going to allow us to take part in the pet adoption event. It's something we want to think of ahead of time and do it right. John Feldman was there, and he was making me smile. I mean, he prepared, and he was there along with a lot of other agents helping sponsor pets. So think what you can do at our pet adoption, which usually it's been in September and in October. So let's see where it falls this year, but we can utilize this time to market ahead of time that this is what we're going to do. Market at that time, because you're going to show your face. You can, if you're sponsoring a pet, have things to send home with the people. You know, have a little goodie bag and send that home with the people. But I want to show you something. I asked Mandy, can everybody see my screen there? Okay, so let me open this up. I asked Mandy if she could make a flyer. Tyler actually took what was in my brain and made this graphic. This is his dog Gunji. This is a testament to what you can do with our marketing team. I asked Tyler, I said, here's my idea: a dog's paw, a person's hand, and a keychain. Homes, so hand and paw, homes for all. This flyer Mandy put together, and you'll see this pet has been sponsored for its new home by, so it has my picture, my information, and our branding. What you can do with this, and I would suggest everybody, this is a great way not to just help pets get homes, but to have your name out there a lot and to get marketing. You can ask them, there's no way we each can do this. Mandy said just send marketing at premiermove.com and say, I would like one of the sponsoring sheets, the flyers that go on the cages at the shelters. Go in, sponsor a pet. They can hang this. You could put it in plastic if you want, laminate it, and they can hang it on the cage that you have sponsored. So everybody walking through that shelter is going to continually see this. And if you do it once a month or however often you want, then that is your name staying out there. To go beyond that, have a little goodie bag for that pet and the family. So when they adopt their pet, not only are they taking their pet home, they're taking a bag home with some treats or something like that, plus some information about homes are for all. Paws and hands, we go together, and that's what we do. We guide people home. We guide pets home to their new homes, and we guide people. So that's one thing. The other thing is Wagons for Dragons. That is in August. We were not able to have it this year. That is for the Warren County Humane Society. The year before, we actually took not only first place in the dragon boat race, but we took first place in the donations, and we also took first place in spirit. So we had a clean sweep, an amazing day. I want to share this with you. Yes, it's in Warren County, and it's for that particular shelter. However, this is a company. We have a great time. We put up a big tent and we have information there. This is a time for our company to shine, and everybody can come. Bring you a lunch or something. They serve food there. Bring a lunch. Market this ahead of time. Tell your family, your friends, your sphere of influence, this is what our company is doing. It's exciting. Come see us at our booth and bring your camp chair. And anybody that's on here that was there understands what an amazing time it was. You don't have to exert yourself and energy. I will be the captain for the Coldwell Banker Premier Paddlers for 2021, since we didn't have it in 2020. We will start ahead of time. It's $100 per paddler, because there has to be 20 paddlers in the boat, and I'll be the drummer to keep the beat. But think about that. That is a great way also as a company to be unified, working together, and also getting our name and your name out in the public. This is a time for you to shine. These are events that really can help you shine. Last but not least, I haven't shared this with the populace, but I have shared it with a number of people that's taken my classes. And I had a long talk with Tracy. Tracy said, we should do this company wide. So I want to share this. On the 4th of July, who actually uses Oriental Trading, has ordered from Oriental Trading before? If you haven't, I would suggest to utilize Oriental Trading if you want to buy in bulk, kind of cheap. You can get 18-inch flags, American flags. And my personal, I'm not making this about me, I'm just sharing this so you take it and do with it what you want for you, and then we can do it as a company all together. I used to have 646 homes in a farming area that twice a year I would do something big for. So I would order all these flags, and they're pretty tall, 18 inches. I would have a nice postcard made, a nice size postcard. I do a hole punch at the top and the bottom, and it had something on there. This is where Stephen, our marketing company, can put something really amazing together. My picture was on there, but it said something to the effect about the American dream, you know. So I put that on there and went to every one of the houses and in front of their mailbox. Never put anything in or on anybody's mailbox. It's federal property. You can put the stick in front of the mailbox, or if they don't have a mailbox there, put it at their door somewhere as they go up at their steps. You can find the perfect place to put it. Go yourself and put them out. I'm not saying doing 646 like I did. That was a nightmare. But Tracy said if every one of our agents in our company only did 10, if that's the only ones, or they gave it to their own listings to put out. But think about this before 4th of July gets here. If we can all order, and if we do a big order together, we can actually, from West Virginia all the way, our footprint, we can have flags everywhere, and this can actually draw media too. We guide people to their American dream. We guide people home. That's what we do. So anyway, those were the 3 things I wanted to share. Now I'm more interested in hearing how you guys can use that and what you guys are going to do, because we can all learn.
So I want to hear from either maybe Craig or Liz Crumrine, because they recently did the global luxury certification. Or I see Adam's on here. I don't know if Paula's on here. Adam and Paula, of course, are kind of our superstar luxury. But you know, I want to hear from one of you guys about the luxury niche and kind of what you're doing or have done to sort of build that.
So we've tried to put ourselves into spots that outreach our local area, for one thing, and then also into some higher end type of magazines, and also even some niche magazines, such as Equestrian Oriented Magazine for an equestrian property that we have, and reaching out to social media groups that are equestrian related at that point, and some stuff like that. It's difficult to identify the global luxury crowd locally. I mean, you can work on neighborhoods and some stuff like that. I would say that have over 500,000 or over 750 or whatever price range you're looking for, to try to narrow in on where they are at least.
And for those of you who don't read my emails, don't forget the luxury class is at the end of February. I will be reminding you multiple times, but you know, I know there's a group of you out there that just ignore everything I say. I think some of you just have all my stuff going directly to trash because if I hear more and more, I didn't know anything about that. Oh, I only sent 5 emails. Sorry, sore subject. That's honestly getting up on my pet peeve list up with reply all. So please read my emails. I don't send them for my health. But Global Luxury is coming up. So you cannot say that I didn't warn you. If you're on this call, I don't want to hear from you saying you forgot or didn't know about it. It's definitely worth the investment if you're even thinking about trying to break into that market. It's a great way to raise your average sales price, which of course means fewer units for more money. And of course, don't forget, the property itself will qualify for luxury even if you're not certified yet. So even if you haven't done the deals to get certified, you can still take the course, get the knowledge, and then be able to talk to your customers and potential clients about all of the marketing and things that we can bring to the table that will sell their home for more money. Stacy.
I just have a quick question on that. If they took the class, but they haven't reached the sales, how long is that class good for?
There's not really a clear-cut line on that. I mean, I would say, try to do it within a year, but I'm just guessing.
I'm just asking for others, just curious.
Are you talking
I'm
about
not
the
sure.
You're talking about the global luxury qualification?
Yeah.
I thought it was 3 or 4 sales within the past year or two. I can't remember what
it was. 3 sales in 2 years. Yeah.
3 sales in 2 years.
3 sales in 2 years. But I think Stacy was asking, I took the class and I'm trying to get the sales. How long do I have until I have to take the class again?
I think that is never ending, to be honest. Paula took the previews class a long time ago, and she never had to take the global luxury class or anything. So I don't think that there's any expiration on that personally. But
I do agree with you, but you didn't hear it from me. I'm not promising that it's never ending. Just pretend it's like a year or two, and that way you should be safe. Because I'd hate to tell you it's fine, and then you guys do it, and then you have to take the class again, and then you blame me.
I thought it was 2 years, and then you can get 1 year grace period.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's probably a one-off thing that we would just reach out to. We would reach out to Global Luxury and ask them and say, hey, does this person still qualify? Are we good? So it's a case-by-case situation. So anyway, that's coming up soon. There's always tons of classes to take. I actually, when I was a brand ambassador, I had almost an entire office, I think there was like half of them at least, go get CRS certified all at once, because I told them hey, you guys realize that they've changed the rules, and now if you have X number of sales, you take one class, it was like a 2-day class, you're good. And so they all went to San Antonio and took the class, and 5 or 6 CRSs all at once. So think about CRS too. I'm fingers crossed, hoping I can reactivate my CRS now that I'll be a realtor again. Just joined the EPBR, so hoping I can get my CRS back. But it's a great designation too. But any of these classes you can take, even if you don't do it for the designation or the certification, the knowledge you're going to gain is going to be worth the price of admission. If you can just take one aha moment from a class that'll make you money, it pays for itself. So it's not a cost, it's an investment. Marcia, I would assume that you can use higher end builder stuff. I don't know why you wouldn't be able, as long as you can document that you were on that sale. I don't see why you couldn't. Yeah. So anyway, any other comments? I know, Michael, you were going to say something earlier. Did you have something to add?
If I'm not mistaken, there's a 2 years, and then there's they'll give you a year kind of extension to get those sales in. So I think it's like a 3-year situation.
Earlier you had unmuted yourself, and I thought maybe you wanted to talk about something. Did you have anything else to add in the larger conversation?
Now I'm having a brain fart. I'll see if I can't think.
You can keep that on your
Susan,
side
I
of the
think-
line. Thank you.
I think the GRI really is a good course that helps an agent in early stages to be functionally better at their job.
I agree. I
that's-
got my GRI very early on, like within my first year of business, and it made a huge difference.
Because let's face it, when they go through the license school, I mean, that's such a lark and such a farce of what they really need to know. And I think the GRI brings it down. The other thing I was going to say briefly about, if I were very young, I used to work for the airline business, and the fact that I have had to stay in Winchester, Virginia for almost a year, I mean, I'm about mentally off because I'm used to traveling some. And I would do, Craig goes to all these little beaches and everything. I'd be doing something on travel too, that I think people are going to be storming the airports after this COVID thing. And I think people like to travel and might be interested in like what little beach they found in South Carolina or North Carolina. Just a thought.
Could be good for referrals. Craig, were you going to say something?
I was, but it's totally gone out the other side.
You got Michael's disease, apparently.
Yes.
It was something with GRI, and you kind of.
Oh, take that class. I just got mine last year. So see, I started doing it like back in the 90s when I first got licensed, and then I got really, really busy and just gave up. But that was something I said I wanted to do, and I finally finished it all last year. I think it really is beneficial to any agent. I don't care how long you've been in the business. And it's so great to interact with other agents across the state.
I've heard when I got it, so I got my GRI 2 days before my 19th birthday. I cranked it out my first year in the business. And I was told early on, ABR, accredited buyer representative. Oh, and that reminds me, when you guys are marketing yourselves, marking your designations, you need to like tell people what they actually mean. Like no one knows a CRS, certified residential specialist, and why it's important. But I was told ABR is sort of the associate's degree, GRI is the bachelor's, and CRS is the master's. And then the CCIM is like the, doctorate or whatever, if you're in commercial, that is. But the designations are so worthwhile. GRI is fantastic.
Nina's
GRI is
asking,
nice
what
because
is GRI? And also we got somebody here, where can you get it? I think the board office is just starting a class on that.
June, the board office they were offering, I think 2 different segments of it, because it's like that one class and a second class, and you can take them separately if you want. GRI is nice because there's no continuing education requirement, and there's no further fee requirement, as opposed to some of the other ones there are.
You have it. Like ABR and CRS, you got to pay dues every year. That's why I got rid of my ABR, because I just got sick of paying it.
Plus you're tight.
I am. I'm a cheapskate. I actually just retired my Tennessee license the other day because I didn't want to pay the E&O insurance. Like, why do I need 3 licenses? I don't need Tennessee right now. So anyway, all right. Well, this was great. I hope you guys got some ideas. Start thinking about it. If you want to bounce your ideas off of anybody, we've got 3 managers and myself that would be happy to kick around ideas with you. You can always bother Holly. I'm kidding. But I got the look. We're always happy to kind of talk through ideas and stuff. It's really good. It's really good to have the support and be able to kind of the sounding board, to be able to run things by each other and say, what you would be great at is X. Because sometimes you can't think about it. You're like, I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what I'm passionate about. Like, it could be anything. Like Debbie's got a whole, pork thing that she does, like the
food truck.
What do you do? The food truck thing, yeah, with the pulled pork and all that yumminess. I can't wait to try it someday.
Stevie, can I add one thing?
I have a barbecue business.
Barbecue, thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Go ahead, Holly.
It's great that you're going to brand yourself. You do all this stuff. But if you are doing something with a logo or something visual, please run it past marketing for compliance purposes and to make sure that we can still tell you're us, Coldwell Banker Premier. And
proofreading, that's always it's always good to have a second set of eyes on something.
Wait, proofreading? Did you eyeball me on that?
So anyway, all right, guys, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for letting us run over a couple minutes. Have an awesome day, and I will see you all soon.
Thank you.